Noah's demon fire was much more powerful than Snowflake's true fire. Since it could make a super treasure like this conch, it could melt the platinum chainmail. Grandmaster Hank almost spat out a mouthful of blood and fainted when he saw that. However, that was not all. Noah picked up the purple gold crown and tossed it into the demon fire as well. The exquisite purple gold crown was instantly turned into a mass of purple gold. Platinum mingling with purple gold, the mass of metal liquid turned slowly in his hand before spiraling up into a pillar of white and black colors. Taking the world as the furnace and the demon fire as the fuel, Noah was making a treasure right in the wilderness. The 6 elders who came out with Grandmaster Hank were all dumbfounded. In the dragon tribe, after reaching the 3rd level, one could get a glimpse of the heaven, and most of the dragon cultivators were all engrossed in cultivation. That was why very few dragon cultivators would give up cultivation and turn their attention to the study of elixirs and treasures. In the South Atlantic Dragon Palace, there was one elixir master, and even he could only make elixirs that were lower than level 5, and that was enough for the elders who were at the 8th level or the 7th level. However, they had no high-level treasure master. While the elders of South Atlantic watched Noah make a treasure right there, they were both astonished and regretful. They knew that the South Atlantic Dragon Clan had offended a very powerful treasure master. If they had such a master, they would have large quantities of top-tier treasures to use. Noah flicked his fingers and shot many flight array formations into the white and purple metal liquid, making it hover in the air. To make a treasure, one needed materials and array formations. The 3 ultimate treasures of the South Atlantic Dragon Clan were excellent materials, and Noah was making them into a super flight treasure for Snowflake. He waved his hands, and the pair of Lotus Cloud boots flew into his hand. Grandmaster Hank's heart lurched. However, he couldn't voice any objections to Noah. Without thinking, Noah tossed the boots into the flame as well. A surge of hot air shot up near Noah, and the Lotus Cloud boots slowly turned from 2 boots into 4 clouds that were covered in gold. The clouds flew up and hovered in the air 10 centimeters above Noah's head. Blinding rays of light were released from the clouds. Godly items. To be more accurate, they were treasures almost as powerful as godly items. Grandmaster Hank's eyes bulged, while the 6 elders had the urge to kneel. Noah merged the 3 ultimate treasures of the South Atlantic and engraved 56 flight array formations into it. Each of the array formations was for acceleration. Platinum and purple gold were like the muscles of the treasure, while the lotus threads were like the meridians. These lotus threads connected the array formations and turned the 4 clouds into one compact, small-scaled array formation. Noah casually made a top-tier treasure. The 6 elders cussed Grandmaster Hank silently for messing with such a genius. "Snowflake, come here!" Noah called out. Snowflake barked happily and ran to Noah. Noah gestured, and the 4 clouds fell right onto the paws of Snowflake. Then, as if they dissolved into Snowflake's paws, there were only 4 marks on its 4 paws, and the colorful marks looked like auspicious clouds. Snowflake rolled on the ground before standing up. "Snowflake, try them," Noah said. Snowflake waved its paws, and the set of flight treasure in its paws emitted 3 ripples. It split the water in the ocean and flew 1,000 meters in a second. 1 second later, Snowflake flew back. Snowflake rubbed its head against Noah with joy. Jacob was also astonished. With such a set of treasures, Snowflake could go anywhere. It wouldn't matter if it were up in the heavens or deep into the earth. Snowflake's paws were golden, and the colorful marks were beneath its hair. Therefore, it looked like nothing had changed on Snowflake. Jacob patted its head, and Snowflake instantly turned into a snow lion that was over 1 meter tall. 4 clouds appeared under its paws. It carried Jacob and Noah with ease. After looking at the ash-faced Grandmaster Hank, Snowflake barked cheerfully and dashed away. The dignified ruler of the South Atlantic Dragon Clan was belittled by a spirit beast. While Grandmaster Hank clenched his fists and gritted his teeth, Noah, who was sitting on Snowflake's back, waved his right hand and activated the last flag buried in the ground. Whitewater Array Formation. The unstable water defense array formation put up by the South Atlantic Dragon Palace shattered. The palace in the center collapsed under the force of the flooding water. Since Noah destroyed another building after his departure, Grandmaster Hank shivered with rage. Then he heard the elders' alarmed exclamations. "The Crown Prince is in there recovering from his injuries." Alarmed, Grandmaster Hank immediately flew toward the flooded South Atlantic Dragon Palace. Henry, who had his cultivation strength destroyed, was now immortal. He would die if anything serious happened to him. Grandmaster Hank put all these grudges on Jacob. After all, according to Noah, all this happened because of his big brother. Meanwhile, Snowflake rushed out of the ocean and was flying back home like a shooting star. Its speed was even faster than Noah's flight treasure. Shortly, the city came into Jacob's view. Snowflake didn't need Jacob's guidance while it flew toward the house by the seaside. Then, it withdrew the colorful lights on its paws and landed smoothly. Compared with before, Snowflake was at least 10 times faster. It shrunk its body and followed Jacob, trotting with a wagging tail. Just like that, it went back to looking like a cute little puppy. Who could imagine that even 3 or 4 cultivators on the 3rd level would be no match for Snowflake? Jacob and Noah returned to the cozy house and saw Grandma watching TV in the living room with a cup of hot tea in her hand. "Grandma," Jacob called out affectionately. "You are back!" Grandma was watching some soap operas on the TV, and she turned around when she heard Jacob. Jacob looked up at the clock hanging on the wall and found that only 1 hour had passed. In that 1 hour, he and Noah had destroyed half of the South Atlantic Dragon Palace, looted 6 carriages of treasures, and melted 3 ultimate treasures. It was a grand victory. "Where did you go?" Grandma asked. "I took Noah to the beach," Jacob said. Grandma nodded and didn't ask any more questions. It had only been 1 hour, and they didn't drive a car. How far could they have gone? She thought. If only she knew. "Noah, take a shower and go to bed. I'm going to head to bed too." Grandma looked at Noah and said, "Okay," Noah said coolly. He was arrogant, but couldn't put up even a tiny bit of hostility against Jacob's grandma. "Your parents just went upstairs. I've talked to them. Your dad will drive Noah to school on his way to work and pick him up in the evening," Grandma said to Jacob. Jacob was a little jealous, since it was a luxury that he never got. However, with Noah living in their home as Dracon's relative, it was a reasonable arrangement for him. In this house, there now lived an elixir master, a treasure master, a snow lion that liked to act like a puppy, 2 brilliant scientists, a very gentle grandma, and a sword array master. It was probably the most stacked house in the city.